we need you to come off as more approachable, nurturing, caring, friendly matriarch. It tested.
Get the fuck out.
She's a battle axe. She can't do that.
Ooh, bacon.
Greetings, Tasty Morsels. It's Reverse BLT here, and today we're going to get back into The Expanse. It's been quite a while since I last watched an episode of The Expanse, but I'm back, and I'm happy to get back into it. I love the show. Full disclosure, I have read almost all of the books. I haven't read the novellas, and I haven't read the final book in the series yet, which is Leviathan's Fall, I believe, but I have not read that one yet. Other than that, though, I'm up to date on the story as told in the novels. The show obviously takes a few liberties here and there where it makes more sense for television to do things a certain way that the books may not have done them, which is great because in addition to just being better for television when they make those changes, it also kind of keeps me guessing a bit because I won't necessarily know exactly what's going to happen, which I think is always great. But yeah, so the last episode I watched was Retrograde, I believe, and that one was basically Mercury trying to hunt down Naomi and the Belter medic that she was helping. And at the end of the episode, Holden knocked him on his ass and took his gun and sent Naomi back up the well into orbit because she was having serious difficulties acclimating to gravity. And was probably going to end up having a heart attack if she stayed down there. So it's a good thing he sent her back up. But now we have this situation where, because Holden activated some of the machines on the planet following Proto-Miller's, the investigator, we should probably just be calling him, following his, I won't say orders, but let's say his suggestions, he ended up accidentally activating some of the machines and caused lightning strikes to start going off around the planet in sort of like a interesting timed sort of sequence along the equator. I know what that's about, but I won't say anything. I thought it was pretty cool about how they've done it because, like I said, they remix things all the time. So the machines, for instance, look different than they were described in the book. They have a much more kind of like almost like layered feel. Like proto-molecule technology in the books always felt sort of like just really smooth and like the kind of thing that you would look at and not be able to figure out how someone could have made it in the first place, at least from our perspective. But I do like the look of the stuff on the show. It's just not the same kind of thing, you know what I mean? Still very alien looking and unnerving, which I think is the more important part. But yeah, I do know what's going on with the lightning strikes, and I can't wait to see how they handle all of that. Also, I can't wait to see the the crime scene because that's one of the things I've been most looking forward to seeing in the show. But the main thing going forward is just that, you know, well, aside from just the ever looming threat of the builders, left behind tech, and who knows what it's going to do or who's going to set it off or whatever, is this situation with Mercury. I can see both sides with him. I do think that Amos was right about the fact that he's the kind of person who looks for a reason to kill someone because he just really, really wants to do that. But he's, what would they call that? Is that lawful evil? And he had that in this situation because obviously the Belters that they killed at the end of episode 3 were planning on killing him and the rest of his men. So, I mean, he was justified in going after them, but he really just wanted to go after them. Even if those guys had tried to surrender, he would not have allowed them to. He would have found some way to turn it into a bloodbath because that's what he wanted. He wanted that satisfaction of taking someone's life, just like how he took the bare minimum threat in episode 2 as justification to murder somebody, you know? Just because someone says something vaguely threatening to you doesn't mean you have the right to turn around and blow their brains out, you know? So yeah, Mercury essentially is a murderer looking for an excuse, you know? Amos has his number. Definitely has his number. That's going to obviously be the source of tension going forward for at least a little while, is that he's this crazed man looking for excuses to kill, who has essentially a small army under his command. The Rossi is back up in orbit, so we can't really count on its firepower to help right now. And it's just basically Holden, Amos. Yeah, just Holden and Amos down planet side right now. Amos is obviously very capable. Holden is military trained and everything and can hold his own. But they're not going to stand up against a, squad from a PMC, At least not all by themselves. But Mercury also probably just doesn't want to risk all of the possibilities because for one thing, even if his whole squad wouldn't get taken out by two guys, probably the odds are pretty decent that he would. And also, if he doesn't get taken out, there's the political situation, because obviously this man is the envoy from the UN Secretary General. That makes him extremely important, and killing him would be a very bad idea. Killing anyone in his crew would be a very bad idea. So we have to see whether or not the man has the ability to rein himself in long enough to not screw himself over. I don't know what exactly is going to happen here with the Belters. I also don't know whether the title refers to oppression for the Belters on Illis or back on the Earth side of the ring, because obviously we still have a lot of stuff going on up in the air there. We have what's his face? I can't think of his name right now. Marco Inaros and his faction still out there wanting to, wreck shop on the inners on behalf of the Belt. We still have the conspiracy going on with Mars that, some people in Mars are working with Marco, and who knows how many other factions in the Belt to do who knows what, actually know what, but I'm not going to say. And of course, I am still waiting to hear the word Laconia, which is only loosely related to what's going on with the Belt. But yeah, in this world, there's a lot of possibilities for a title like Oppressor. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the episode and find out what exactly is the nature of the oppression happening in this episode. Because again, I already know pretty much who's doing the oppressing. It's going to be the inners, and they're probably oppressing the Belt in some way, or it's about that oppression. I just don't know who the focus is. Is it going to be Earth? Is it going to be Mars? Or what? Let's just go ahead and find out, shall we? Oh crap, no.
You promised.
Because I forgot also, Bobby is now working, though I think this happened in episode 3, I don't think it was part of episode 4 at all, but Bobby is now working for, what was his name? Saeed, or Syed, Elias something or other, I think. The corrupt cop on Mars. She's now going to be working in his operations, which, if you've read the books, you'll know is a major departure from Bobby's storyline, and I've been finding that very interesting because I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen with that. I know where it's ultimately got to end up. I just have no idea how it's going to get there. So that's pretty cool for me. Like I said, I love seeing the ways that they change things up so that I can't just know exactly what's going to happen. Things like that are great. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the episode. I've missed hearing this theme song. One of my favorite things about the show is definitely how they changed the opening over time. I'm wondering who those people were flying around. It looked like Jupiter. Uh-oh, the showrunners wrote this one. As always, a sign of a big episode.
This powerful stuff.
You said that remote even working?
I wired it myself.
Flashback to what happened before.
This isn't what we planned. I did not come here to kill people.
The play is what I say it is.
Oh.
No!
Ow.
And they had these sides, these green sides. I don't know what they were, but they kind of look.
Wait outside until you're relieved. I'll watch this one.
Oh, the guy just like just shooting the shit with him.
You think you could take on all my men by yourself?
I had a shot.
Dude, come on now. Even you know better than that.
Fucking weird.
He is a weirdo. If you guys are trying to hide, you're not doing that great of a job. How about you keep your damn mouths shut?
Unlock it.
Not gonna happen. Put the gun down.
Don't kill her. She just hasn't figured out her boss is a dick.
You stay out of it.
Hey, give me the key and walk away.
You're saying we need to evacuate?
Yes, immediately.
Unlock him. Disable the safeties, rig it up for remote piloting, and put it on a proximity trigger.
You want me to make it into a bomb?
I want you to make it into an option.
I don't remember whether it was Mercury that came up with this idea in the book or not, but same thing.
The grain allotments haven't been adjusted for almost 15 years. In that time, immigration between zones...
Use simpler diction. Just say people moving instead.
I will say I still miss the old actor for Arjun, but I like that we're getting more with the character to see more of how they work together as a couple, like what she saw in him, you know what I mean?
No matter where the debate leads, we need you to come off as more approachable, nurturing. The caring family matriarch, it tested...
Get the fuck out!
She's a battle axe. She can't do that. Her nature isn't nurturing and caring, at least not outwardly.
They're trying to help.
Caring matriarch.
It's an election debate. They just want you to play the game.
You remember the game, right? Well, then again, she's used to playing it from behind the scenes, though.
This settlement and everyone in it would be dead. You're not only because a torpedo from my ship was able to kill it, but the next thing could be a lot worse, and there will be a next thing.
You have no way of knowing that.
He actually does.
We need to get
Yeah.
everyone off the planet right now.
If we leave, they'll never let us come back. You go if you want to.
Guys are being stupidly stubborn right now. I won't say I don't get it, but...
Does it seem strange to you?
That these things have lasted millions, maybe billions of years, and we can break them with torpedoes?
Maybe they wore out and got brittle.
Machines do generally need maintenance. Imagine that would be the case even for super powerful machines built by ancient gods. I love that new paint job, man. Yeah, Naomi, you tried to do too much too quickly.
My daughter is missing. Now they're going to round us up like cattle and take us away. We have nothing.
Not even our family. Jacob, you have to fight. If we did all that, and it doesn't even matter, you have to stay.
All these terrible things you've done, they didn't save us.
Yeah, such a complex issue, you know? You know, on the one hand, you're obligated to fight against those oppressing you. But on the other hand, you're also obligated to take care, no matter which side you're on, not to be killing people who aren't directly involved in hostilities. I mean, this essentially was an economic dispute between a business and, you know, private enterprise. I mean, they're both private enterprise, you know what I mean? Guys, don't be stupid.
Oh, my sweethearts.
What the fuck do you want?
Guys.
None of this happened until you showed up. And when I ask you about it, you deflect.
It's complicated.
Yes, exactly like that. You are connected to this, and you are withholding information.
Yeah, it's called, you know, it's classified.
You're right. And yeah, there are...
It is ironic, though, to
some
see
things I
Holden
kept
withholding
to myself.
information, considering how everything started.
I wouldn't know where to begin.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Were those gunshots?
Those were definitely gunshots.
Covering fire! Fall back! Fall back!
We got a lot of builders here with some training, or at least, who did some, who's seen some action.
Quit acting like you know what you're talking about.
Gulf of Denmark. I love seeing all the little world building bits where they show how, global warming and stuff has affected the Earth. Like everything's got a seawall, the old cities.
You ask how I would protect Earth from another Earth incident? That's a good question. And here is my answer.
Same way I did the previous one.
Last time.
Be careful, though. You don't want to sound too arrogant.
Metri has no right making them leave, and neither do you.
If they die here, it's on me.
And it's on the Inners for fighting over Ganymede. And Jules Pierre Mal for his experiments, and Avasarala for sending us, and some aliens for creating the proto-molecule and shooting it at Earth.
Never ends. Causality of blame.
Tell them the truth, and let them decide for themselves.
I used to be the one saying things like that.
It's true. Amos rubbed off on him, and all the other shit that they've gone through together.
Lucia? Hey, I don't know if you're hungry or nothing.
Please tell me she didn't basically just let herself die. She really should have been kept in the medical bay the entire time. Doesn't make sense to me that they put her in quarters knowing that she still had a wound.
Dolok override.
Nail me!
Also, you would think the auto dock would be the equipment they had on her would be set to call someone if something had happened.
Lucy, listen to me. I need your help, okay? I've never done this before. Please, you gotta tell me what to do.
If she was trying to kill herself the slow way, she can basically trick you into killing her the fast way now.
But do not make me tell your daughter I had to let you die. Fucking tell me what to do!
Suction.
Isn't that what he was doing already?
Sorry.
Oh, I thought he already had it in suction mode.
I'm working on it. It's in. The infusion's working, you just gotta stop the bleeding.
So do they basically just carry big bags of artificial blood?
You're too low.
All right.
I was just thinking to myself that the way that they pilot the starships, Alex would probably actually be pretty good at this type of surgery too, actually.
I got it. Got it.
Good job, Alex.
You're good. Thank you.
I'll start the cleanup. You stay with her.
Sorry I yelled at you.
No, it's a good thing you did, man. She was trying to check out.
I can't even die right.
Can't even die right. Why does I feel like another character said that in the book?
I'm unarmed!
Oh, shit.
Could be giving them another hostage, dude.
Being him.
Being him, sure.
I've been on the basic roles since I was born, and I've been on the waiting list for vocational training and job placement for 30 years. I want to ask the candidates, what can be done to offer more opportunity?
30 years waiting for opportunity.
It has been well documented at this point that my opponent exploited political
Avasarala, you come from a family of wealth and privilege. They're not going to listen to
someone
like that talking about fairness. You had no fairness.
I have already requested changes that would close that loophole and make the system fair again.
Fair for whom? That's what she's going to capitalize on.
It's a little strange to have a member of the political aristocracy lecture me about connections. Tonight, it's the first time she's ever interviewed for a job.
You reading the room, Chrisjen?
My opponent has asked what happened to the person whose place I took. George, would you stand up, please? George Cantor was my first alternate. When I got my appointment at the regional government, I hired George to work with my policy research team.
Wow.
He now runs it.
Chrisjen, you got outmaneuvered here.
A woman named Lee Fan. She has become my top security consultant. 6,000 people fight for one slot. And we say anyone can make it, any one of those 6,000, not 2, not 10. Certainly not everyone.
That's a damn good response.
Security alert.
Ma'am, we need you to come with us right away.
Can you not see where I am?
We have a security situation.
Shit.
I wonder what the situation is. Oh, how brilliant would it have been for Gal's people to call in a fake situation just so that they could just so that they can make her look bad.
The transponder IDs her as a sign-on out of Triton.
And its path?
It was heading towards Luna, but 20 minutes ago it shifted. It's on a collision course with Sentinel-19.
The asteroid spotter. You brushed me off the surface of the planet, so obviously you're treating this like an attack.
That looks like an attack to me.
Protocol is to assume there's more than one on its way.
So why haven't we killed the ship already?
This is the sign-on. We are experiencing a minor failure in our computer systems. It has affected our comms and drive controls. We are working to correct it.
Can you not move the Sentinel?
Ma'am, we
Ma'am,
cannot
we just
afford
got a flash from Signal Intelligence. The drive signature on record also matches a colony ship called the Sojourner.
The one the Belter said was lost as scrap?
Yeah, 82.7%. That's not a dead ringer.
Destroy the ship immediately.
Oh, man.
Yes, ma'am.
And it'd be a smart play, too. Because we already learned from Naomi, for instance, that you could change drive signatures. So they could make it look like it's this Sojourner. It gets killed. They get propaganda. Man, I really hope this was the right decision, though. It'd be so sad if it ends up, that they killed a bunch of
Never
people.
should have happened in the first place. If we were supporting colony ships instead of stranding them out where they're easy prey for piracy, it wouldn't have.
Wow. Beginning to wonder if the conspiracy is bigger than just Mars and the Belt. What if they've got some sympathetic people working with them on the Earth side, too?
Do you mind if I come in?
It's your ship.
I tell you, they leave her alone way too often for someone with her injury and also now knowing that she tried to kill herself, basically.
So I've been where you are right now.
I don't think that you have.
Yes, she has.
The first one we tried was the Augustine Gamara.
I know that name.
It was the one that blew up in the docks at Luna. We killed 516 people. And he meant to do it again.
Wow.
You were tricked. I chose what I did.
But you didn't, though. You were just trying to blow up the landing pad, not kill the people.
Then when I told him I'd never help him again, it was the last time he let me see my little boy.
I'm sorry for that.
I almost walked out an airlock. Being dead seemed better.
I think she's been carrying all this around.
I'm telling you something you need to know. If you're going to live,
I don't understand.
I have a family now. Certainly not one I would have expected. But I love them. And they love me.
Damn right they do.
I have a life that I like living.
I haven't had that. Not in years.
You have to work for it. I mean, it doesn't just fall into your lap.
If you want to die, I can't stop you.
I mean, you have a husband, you have a daughter.
There is a path from where you are to where I am.
I'm a firm believer in a person's right to make that decision for themselves, whether or not to end their life and how. But you always need to remember that the consequence of ending your life is always the end of possibilities.
I believe whatever I'm in contact with is turning on all the old technology here to try and understand what happened to its creators, and I don't think it's going to stop. I'm not even sure it can stop.
You're saying these alien artifacts are responding to something that you're doing.
What happens if you leave? If you're in contact with it, why don't you just go?
I have no reason to believe it'll stop once I'm gone.
Holden, I don't know why you thought you needed to tell them literally everything. Time for things to start kicking off. I know what that's about. Uh-oh. I know what that's about, too.
I read the books.
Oh, my God.
This this is where the episode's going to end. So I guess the whole next episode is going to be about the fallout, literally and figuratively, just now. Actually, it's probably not literal fallout now that I think about it.
Yes, it is.
I am really enjoying the stuff that's going on with Chrisjen and Nancy Gao. For those of you who have not read the books, Nancy Gao is a character who was created specifically for the show. And this entire plot that's going on between her and Chrisjen is new for the series. And it's a lot of fun. It gives us an opportunity for Chrisjen to have more involvement directly in the plot, or at least to have something to do, because I don't think she's really part of the books too much at this particular point in the narrative. It gives us a nice chance to see how she is as a political animal outside of her element, because her element was always working behind the scenes, like, setting up puzzle pieces, getting shit done, but not having to deal with public scrutiny and the schmoozing and the constant sort of like trying to present a certain cultivated image to voters to get them to like her, because when you're the person who's just there to get shit done, you don't need to be liked. You just need to be effective. And that's what she focused on, was being effective, not being popular. I learned that lesson a long time ago in politics, like the front-facing element of politics. And the reason why so many politicians are so like overtly slimy in a lot of ways is that you have to constantly be making people like you. People who depend on votes, is all a popularity contest, and they have lots of different ways to manipulate opinions to make them more popular if they can't get over on just their personality. Which of course we were seeing in the debate was like, these little issues and how to turn them one way or another to boost your popularity with the people if your just raw charisma couldn't do it. Problem is, Gao has more charisma in terms of like, just like being the kind of person that the average person on the street would probably see as likable. Chrisjen's whole personality is very much battle axe, hard charging, break down the barriers and get shit done, as she likes to say. Whereas Gao comes across more sympathetic, more like average person, because of course that's her background too. She was basically an average person, though clearly not on the super low end of average. She was probably what in this society would have been considered just on the verge of being middle class. Anytime her parents had connections that were able to help her out with the lottery system. So she was, part of the working class, but not at the bottom of the working class.
Fancy a nap?
Is what I'm expecting from that information. But yeah, having a lot of fun with that. I'm also having fun seeing how the situation on Illis or Nutera is proceeding in roughly the same way it did in the books, but with a lot of minor little tweaks. And it's really cool to see how the book's writers have come up with these subtly different plots to use in this translation of their own work to a different medium. I think that's really cool. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the episode. Do you think that who do you think is right? Do you think? Because I personally, when it comes to the situation on Illis, I think both sides they have about the same amount of right and wrong, except of course for Mercury killing that one guy that sort of really kicked everything off, and the folks that were working with Lucia wanting to detonate the pad, even knowing it was going to kill people when that wasn't the original plan. Those two decisions were, in my opinion, objectively wrong. But the other things going on, like having a charter, if you're a company and the legal system that you operate in tells you, yeah, you can go and exploit this particular resource, to you, that's right. And if you're a bunch of people who've been systemically oppressed by that system, and you finally manage to get a little piece of the pie for yourself, wanting to hold on to it, that's also right. But both sides are also being obtuse right now. They're just being like, they're experiencing so much tunnel vision on the idea of what their rights are, or what they're owed, that they're failing to see the bigger picture, and they're failing to realize that there are probably solutions that could be equitable for both sides. That just neither one wants to give an inch, you know. But the builder's tech is about to decide of quite a few things for them, as you saw at the end of the episode. So what do you guys think just happened? If you haven't read the books, I'm curious as to what your speculation is as to what just happened at the end of the episode. And we can all speculate together on this one if you haven't seen past this as to what's going to happen with the election with Gao and Avasarala. What's Bobby up to right now? We didn't get any Bobby in this episode, which is always sad, not just because, you know, Frankie Adams is one gorgeous, tall drink of woman.
First.
But just because, like, I love her character, and I'm very curious to see what's happening there, and whether it's getting us closer to that word that I'm waiting to hear. Oh, and also, do you think that the ship that they took out, the captured colony ship, do you think it was the real deal? Do you think it really was just the captured ship sent in as a Trojan horse, or do you think it was even worse that they, you know, corrupted the drive signature of another ship, and maybe either there were people on board, or they'll try to sell it as if it wasn't the ship they thought it was, and it did have innocent civilians on board? Either way, Gao played that pretty masterfully. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. This show makes politics interesting, and as we saw with the Star Wars prequels, that's not an easy task. That's one of the things I really like about the series, both the books and the shows, that they managed to get into a lot of this politics stuff that, you know, drives all these decisions that are happening all the time in life, without it being like boring and tedious, you know. Definitely looking forward to seeing what happens in the next episode, how Holden and crew will handle everything, and what exactly Mercury will be allowed to get away with now that things are going sideways, and what's going to be the fallout with that explosion we saw. And there was something else. Oh yes, you know, it's a delicate issue, but if you want to talk about it, we can also talk about what was going on with Lucia and the decision that she was thinking of making. As I already mentioned, I am a proponent of a person's right to choose exactly what to do with their life, which to me includes when and how to end it if they so choose. But that does not mean that I'm happy when someone makes that decision necessarily. There are definitely times where I can understand it more than other times, you know, where like say for instance with Robin Williams, who was just in so much pain for so many decades. You know, I can understand that he just finally reached his breaking point and just couldn't do it anymore. But it, like I said, the thing that always I think a person should remember is just that what you're giving up are all of your possibilities. You still have the right to choose whatever you want to do. Just understand that you know, it is one of those few decisions in life you can make that there's 100% no take backsies, you know, and every possible thing that could have happened that might be good in your life, that's it. It's all gone. It's lost forever, you know. And I also, you know, because I've had my own issues with suicidal ideation, you know, and I keep on going out of spite. To be perfectly honest with you, I look at it as the universe is always trying to beat you, you know, and I refuse to let it win. You know, if it wants to take me out, it's going to have to bring its A game and do it itself. I'm not going to do it for it, you know. But that's just my take on the whole thing. Didn't mean to bring down the mood at the end here, guys. I feel like I'm forgetting something to talk about that happened in the episode, but hey, that's what happens sometimes with the big old squishy thing that in between our ears. It's not perfect.
Fuck you, brain.
So I'm just going to go ahead and stop rambling and call it on this one. Thanks so much, guys, as always, for watching the episode with me. I look forward to talking to you in the comments. As always, do your best to stay safe and be well, and I will see you for the next one. Bye-bye.
We've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty.
Destroy the ship immediately.
Yes, ma'am.